Hi guys, I am uh, Anish Deshpande, and in this video we are going to see a game between uh, Adolf Anderson and Paul Murphy. But meanwhile, like this video and subscribe to my channel. So let's start. So in this game, Paul Murphy was playing with the white pieces and he opened the game with 1 e4. His opponent, uh, black, responded with c5. Here Paul Murphy played d4. After pawn takes, he played his knight to f3. So here his opponent played knight to c6. But one can also play the move e5 to defend this pawn, as knight into e5 wouldn't be possible, and as queen a5 check would win this. Queen a5 check would win this knight on a5. So for example, e5 you cannot take with the knight because just queen a5 check and you lose this knight. But in the game, his opponent played knight to c6, and now white took the pawn on d4. Now his opponent played the move e6. Now Murphy played knight to b5, intending knight to d6 check, where black would have to capture and give up his bishop for the knight. So here black played the move d6, and now Murphy responded with bishop to f4, creating one more attack on this pawn. So black played e5 and bishop to e3. So Murphy's point with bishop f4 was to force e5 so that this square on d5 gets weak, and he could use his knight to play to he could place this knight via c3 to d5 on this weak square. Now his opponent played the move f5. This is not a very good move. He should have played his knight to f6 and later pushed this knight away with a6. But he played the move f5, and now Murphy played knight to c3. Now it was very important for black to play the move a6 and kick this knight away. But instead he played the move f4, and after knight to d5, this knight is coming on c7 and this rook is lost. But black took this bishop on e3, and now here white played knight to c7, king f7, and instead of taking this rook, this is a very good point to learn from a player like Paul Murphy. Instead of going for taking the rook, he went for an attack on the king. And now his opponent played knight to f6, and now here he played bishop to c4, intending to give a check with this bishop after moving the knight. So he played knight to d4. Now here black's point is very good because he wants to capture this queen with a check, but white has some checks before. Knight takes on f6 check, d5, bishop takes on d5, and here king to g6 was played, which was a mistake. Here king to e7 was a better move, and the game still goes on. But here black played, his opponent Anderson played king to g6, and here Murphy played queen to h5 check, king takes on f6, and after f takes on e3, black resigned the game because his knight now is under attack, and if it takes knight takes c2, then white would play his king to e2. Actually not after fe3, but in this position black just resigned the game, because if he takes this rook here, then white would play rook f1 check, king e7, queen takes on e5 check, king d7, bishop e6, king c6, and rook c1. And here if black plays king to b6, then queen to b5 is a checkmate, or else you have to start giving pieces like this, and in the end it's a checkmate. So let's go back. If he doesn't take the rook and takes the knight here, then of course rook f1 check, rook a f1 check, king e7, rook f7, king d6, rook c7, king c7. And here it seems that black has enough material for the queen, but after rook to c1 he is going to lose this knight, and it's a winning position for white. So the learning point from this game was why white why black lost this game was because he allowed this knight to d5. He should have simply played a6. This is a very important rule to know, that if any of our opponent's pieces has crossed his own line, like this territory is white's territory, and if any of the pieces comes forward it, you should always try to kick them away with a move like a6. And of course this knight would have retreated here, and after b5 black also had some play here with his pawns. Next he wants to play b4 and fork these two knights. And one more point here was to learn from white's point of view was that instead of playing bishop to f4, he should have played the move c4 and should have gone for simple bishop e2 and short castle. This would have given him a nice game. What happened with bishop f4 was that his opponent played e5, and after bishop e3 and, and after bishop e3 his opponent could have simply played knight f6, forcing knight c3 and just a6, and this knight would have gone back, and in this case white doesn't have c4, which gives him good control of the d5 square. So thanks for watching. Jai Hind.